We're here.
Go.
We're live, Dolph. Back again, another episode of Unfiltered Copenhagen. It's that time again.
Special episode. No, it's a special episode.
It's a Tuesday.
It's a Tuesday.
And that Christmas spirit is here.
Yeah, and you know why?
Because we just had a Christmas party.
Well, yeah, we had a Christmas party, and I had some Christmas cake today.
Did you? Oh yeah, the one that I looked at, and of course, I was like in a conference call, and somebody came around. Oh, there's cake. I was on a call. Couldn't do anything about it. By the time I get there, the only cake that's left is the one with fucking raisins in it. There was like one cake, no raisins, all gone.
Yeah, no shit, it was better.
Yeah, no shit. Nobody likes raisins. Just make 2 cakes with no raisins.
Raisins is a very Christmassy thing, isn't it?
I think raisins can be okay if you eat them like on their own, but when you put them in something, you have that weird like texture difference where like the cake is soft and kind of spongy but firm, and then you have like a raisin in there, like a leathery little nut.
You don't have to worry for it because that cake was all crumbly and.
All right. Anyways,
but raisins, it's like they put it in glögg as well.
I don't like the glögg or whatever they drink at Christmas that much.
I like it.
Do you?
Yeah.
Would you drink like 4 glasses of it?
Maybe not, but I mean, I like a lot of things that I wouldn't drink 4 glasses of it.
Okay, maybe that's an unfair question, but like I get the idea of like a little taste of it. Okay, that's great.
I like 1 glass of it.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
Depending on how big the glass is.
I guess it's the same with me and like the Christmas beer.
Oh, no.
Christmas
that's
beer
terrible.
is not very good.
No, that's terrible.
But I will have like 1.
No.
Just to say I did it.
No,
just to be like,
I think the last Christmas beer I had was like 4 years ago. And it's probably because I forgot how bad it was. The thing is, they put licorice on the fucking beer.
Yeah.
Who would do that?
The generic Christmas beers are especially bad, like the normal ones you get from Carlsberg and Tuborg. But some of the fancy ones, like the Norbro Brewhouse and some of the other more, I don't know, bespoke ones, they're okay. They're still not great.
I don't like beer. I don't like beer, and I definitely don't like Christmas beer.
So you're not even really qualified to make a judgment here.
Why should my opinion be invalidated just because I don't like?
Well, okay,
something?
because you don't like any beer.
Yeah, but if I liked it, then you would actually use my not liking as a sales point. Like, oh, see, he doesn't like beer, but he even likes this one. You know.
Here we
so
go.
I mean, you can't have it both ways
with the technicalities. If I didn't like any coffee at all, and you guys are all like, what do you think about this coffee? Is this one good or not? And I'm like, I don't like that one. It's like, well, yeah, you don't like any fucking coffee. Like your opinion doesn't matter on this particular subject. I'm not saying your opinion doesn't matter, but if you don't like any beer at all, it's kind of hard to have a subjective, like,
I
0 out of 10 scale on a particular type of beer.
I do like beer the same way you like glögg.
Which is how, like, I'll have 1.
I can have 1 beer every once in a while.
Okay.
That's
right.
okay.
Christmas beer, thumbs down.
Yeah, thumbs down. And I'll tell you one thing. Ale 16. It's a good beer. I still don't want to drink too much of it.
I believe you.
It upsets my fucking stomach.
You don't like how gassy you get or whatever?
Beer really fucks me up, like not in a hangover kind of way, but
you have to piss a lot and kind of just feel bloated.
And it's, I don't know, if for like the next 2 shits that I take, they're going to be weird, you know?
Yeah, I guess. You take some more probiotics, Dolph.
But it only happens when I drink beer.
Really?
Which it doesn't really happen that often. No.
Yeah.
Thumbs down for beer. Sure. I don't care if you care about my opinion of beer. Because,
thumbs down for weird shits. All right.
Well, I like weird shit, just not beer. Also, on the cake today, there's something about cardamom. Is it that the name?
Cardamom, cardamom in
English?
Cardamom, whatever. Yeah, I think.
What is it about cardamom and Christmas?
I don't know. I mean, that's the smell, or one of the different smells. Like you have cinnamon, vanilla, all these kind of like sweet smells are Christmassy. Pine as well.
Okay, I love cardamom. I love it. I think we should eat it all year round.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it has some. I think it helps remove plaque. I heard actually it was like a few days ago. I was watching some video some survival thing. Some guy's out in the wilderness, Joe Robinette or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and he found some wild cardamom, and he was saying he was going to make some tea out of it. And he said he just wanted to make sure that it wasn't like poisonous or whatever. I don't know. And so he had looked it up, and apparently it has some health benefits of removing plaque that builds up in the arteries or the heart. So
Okay.
there you go. Thumbs up for cardamom.
Yeah, but probably not. Well, not when you not when you mix it with all the sugar and butter in that cake that I had.
No, it might offset it just slightly. I don't think it's going to ultimately help you that much.
Well, what other kind of? It's starting to feel like a Christmas episode already. But what other kind of Christmassy things do you like or care or pay attention to or dislike?
I don't know. Just the whole, I guess, the feeling of all that, the lights and the trees and ornaments and all that stuff. I guess just whatever you kind of grew up around as a kid. I mean, as when you went through Christmas, you have kind of those subconscious memories or feelings of like, oh, this is Christmas. Yeah, like I remember all of this kind of stuff. I don't know, that maybe just the whole combination of it all, the smells, the sights.
What about the
some of the
music?
food.
Do you like the Christmas music?
I do like Christmas music. I feel like it starts getting played way too early.
I get so tired of it because it's the same like less than 10 songs.
It's more than that, but yeah, like it depends on the extent of
No,
your
I mean the songs
playlist.
are the same. It's just they're covered by different people or artists.
There's more than 10 Christmas songs. But,
I
but yeah, I know what you mean.
I get so tired of them.
I like them, especially like on Christmas Day or whatever, as long as I haven't heard them like 500 times leading up to that.
Which you already
have in every store and everything. But here it's a little better. I would say in Denmark it's slightly better.
Really? Than in the States?
Yeah, in the States, dude, they start like right after the minute after Thanksgiving. Hell, some stuff starts putting it out even after Halloween. It's crazy, man. It just gets earlier and earlier and early every year.
You got to make that money for it.
Yeah, it's a big money deal, especially
like,
the whole Black Friday, Cyber Monday. Everything is just about shopping and consumerism, capitalism. There you go.
Yeah, I recently came across Finnish Christmas songs.
Yeah.
And I have to say,
are they better?
They are in a genre of its own.
Do they have like a rendition of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer?
Probably. I have to say I didn't go very deep into the rabbit hole yet. But first, they all seem kind of melancholic. So you know how Christmas songs are dun, 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 like it's always happy and cheerful and all that. Yay, it's Christmas.
Not every Christmas song is like that.
But most of them are like there's bells and stuff like that, you know? It's a very Christmassy sound, the bells of the sleighs and the reindeers.
Isn't like Carol of the Bells? Is it Carol of the Bells that kind of has a little bit of a dissonant sound or something?
Okay, don't start finding the technicalities now. the few Finnish songs that I heard, they were all kind of melancholic, you know? And if you translated the lyrics, they were all kind of like, you know, the Grimm's fairy tales? Like the Grimm's folk fairy tales, whatever.
Yeah.
That the original tales, they're all like kind of macabre, you know? Like the Cinderella thing where like, one of the stepsisters cuts off her toe to fit the shoe or whatever the fuck it is.
It's like kind of fucked up.
Yeah, they're all kind of fucked up and then Disney takes over. I feel it's the same with Christmas. Like if you look at those Finnish songs, and if you pay attention to the lyrics, they're all a little bit like macabre as well. And they remind me a lot of, like if you look at the text and if you feel the mood, they remind me a lot of how I suppose it was like the days of paganism. You know?
Okay.
They really feel kind of old school and not taken over by the whole Santa Claus, Coca-Cola thing.
Yeah.
And the whole history behind Santa Claus, it's very fascinating. I'm not going to go into it right now.
Do you believe in Santa Claus?
If I believe in Santa Claus,
yeah.
If I believe in a man in a red dress with a long beard that goes down chimneys,
A red dress.
Not
It's not
dress,
a dress.
coat, jacket, whatever.
He's got a pantsuit. It's like a full suit, Dolph. It's a whole set. He's got a red jacket and some red pants.
Okay, when I say dress, I meant something that you dress, not dress as in...
A uniform, a costume.
Yeah, well, why can't Santa Claus wear a fucking dress?
Well, I don't know. It'd be like Mrs. Claus, maybe.
Well, why can't he be a...
cross-dressing Santa? So you believe in cross-dressing Santa Claus? Okay. That's fine. You're welcome to your opinion and your belief.
It's not about belief, Ford. It's about you have to give the possibility. If Santa Claus decides one day to put on a fucking dress...
You got me. I didn't think about it, but now that I think about it, it's entirely possible.
Nowadays, everybody's
like gender fluid.
Gender fluid,
even Santa Claus is gender fluid now.
You don't know, Ford.
Don't want to trigger anybody. Well, speaking of believing in things, the abominable snowman.
Yeah, what about him?
Do you have this kind of story in Portugal as well? Of this kind of Yeti creature?
Yes.
It was always kind of creepy and weird. I don't think it was like part of the. I don't know if like when I was a kid, I don't know if you learned too much about the abominable snowman other than, well, I guess you had it in some of the Christmas shows and stories. So I guess, you do. Several Danish researchers based at the University of Buffalo have been involved in trying to solve this Yeti mystery. Does the Yeti exist? And if so, what is it? DNA samples from the Himalayas purporting to be from the mythical creature have been examined, including those taken from hair, teeth, bones, skin, and excrement, Dolph. Of the 9 samples, 8 proved to be from bears and 1 from a dog.
Okay.
So, does this completely destroy your preconceived notions of Yetis and abominable snowman?
I think it makes so much sense that it's just a fucking bear, I don't even know. I hadn't thought about it before. The same with the Bigfoot, Like I don't see why Bigfoot can't just be some bear.
Yeah, the stories of the creature have circulated for hundreds of years, Dolph. Scientists have not been able to find any conclusive proof of its existence, despite reports of footprints and the existence of various other bits and pieces. But I guess now that they've done this thorough analysis, Lindquist says he is in no doubt. For me, the mystery of the Yeti is solved, but there will always be some who say, okay, so what? These samples were only bear, but I think I'm convinced.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, there's always going to be some guy that believes. Huh? Well, this is a cool photo.
It is a great photo. Is that CGI or?
I think it. It's got to be, right? It's got to be.
That's not someone in a abominable snowman suit. Actually, I don't like this research.
Why not?
Why would you fucking ruin a myth like this?
What do you mean?
Well,
a bunch of kids going to be sad now?
Abominable snowman, only a bear. That's the title.
Uh-huh.
That makes it so much less
believable.
Everything. Well, no. It's real. It makes it believable. It makes perfect sense to me.
Yeah.
But if you hear the word abominable snowman, it imposes certain kind of respect, and admiration. When you hear abominable snowman, whoa, only a bear. It's not. It kind of ruins the.
I guess there's an ethical question to be made, right? Because in the U.S. every year, the weather forecasters, and I guess all around the world and stuff, like weather forecasters, like say, oh, we're tracking Santa on the NORAD satellites throughout, whatever, and they do it for the kids, right?
Yeah.
So the parents can be like, oh, look, they're tracking Santa. He's coming. We better get you in bed so you can get some presents. Do you feel lied to? Like when you grow up and you realize, okay, there's no Santa Claus. Does that, like subconsciously, does that break some trust? Or, like me, I just realized, okay, my parents were just trying to, make it a magical moment. Like there was no harm intended. But I know there's been some questions about people who wonder, like, if it's the right thing, or they discuss whether or not they think it's the right thing to mislead kids into thinking it's real, What do you think about that?
I think that it doesn't really matter. I think that so far, let's assume that that's been the basic like modus operandi of everybody, that they teach their kid, or that they they treat kids as if Santa exists, and then eventually at some point they discover that he doesn't.
Right.
And guess what?
We've all turned out okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I don't think there's anything specifically linked to that, right?
No, not really.
So who the fuck cares?
It was just a question, though.
Yeah, this is just an answer.
All right.
I'm not sure I ever actually believed in Santa myself. I mean, of course, I can't remember things after a certain time. I remember very well one year. I don't know how old I was, but I think it was in '94. So I was 10 years old. Is it normal to believe in Santa by 10 or not? Because
maybe when I was still young, I think between 5 and 8, I still maybe believed in Santa, but I knew also that my mom and my parents and my grandparents were also involved in the gifts. But I also, I guess, still felt like maybe Santa threw in something special or like helped them out with a special request kind of thing. So in that sense, yeah, I knew, and I would remember, like, I would go to sleep some years, or I would quote go to sleep. I would like stay there awake, like listening, and try to like sneak out there in the middle of the night and see if I could catch them putting the presents, because I wanted to know for sure. But yeah, then when you put the cookies out, they're like, "Oh, you put the cookies out for Santa," and you wake up and, oh, it looks like he ate them all,
But you have a different tradition in the States.
Yeah, I guess so. Well, what's your tradition?
What we do, and I don't know if this is in Portugal, everybody, or if it's my family, or I don't know. But what we did is we only open the presents on the 25th, right? So we wait until midnight, and that's when we start opening them.
Oh, okay.
There you go. The technicalities for it. We just wait until the very first moment on the 25th, which is midnight.
Yeah.
And then we start opening. So basically, everybody stays up until midnight. Also, because in Catholic countries, I don't know if it's we have in Portugal, we have the tradition of eating codfish at midnight. So like it's not supper, like yeah, whatever. So
midnight snack, whatever you want to call it.
It's not a snack, it's a meal.
Oh, okay.
It's like it's a meal. And we eat codfish at midnight. So I guess somehow the whole thing, staying up until midnight to eat codfish and then opening the presents on the 25th,
it became like a
probably
tradition.
became like it.
You guys eat codfish for any reason, though. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think you can compare eating codfish in all Catholic countries. I think that's more
no, exactly. That's a Portuguese thing for sure.
Okay.
But the thing is, I remember that my family, we opened the presents very orderly. So we started with the youngest person opening the presents.
Okay.
And then we go in by age.
Seniority,
so the next,
right.
Yeah, exactly.
And do you have like a designated Santa that grabs the present and gives them to the person that needs to open it, or they just go?
No. We just kind of organize the presents and put them organize them like 1 or 2 hours before. So we put all of them together, like the presents for the same person. We gather them together, and then we just have someone handing them the presents. The thing is, once the person start opening the presents, there is a tag saying this is from person to person, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's like that already makes me not believe in Santa, because there's a fucking present that says from my fucking aunt.
Right, but we I remember also having presents, from mom, from dad, whatever. And then there would be like a few, like from Santa, and obviously it's like from your mom or whatever, you know. But when you're a kid, you're like, oh, this is the ones that Santa got me, or whatever.
I don't think I ever got that. No.
The tradition we had was a little different, and I guess it's also even different, even in in the States. Every family does it kind of different. I think most people wait until you go to bed that night. The parents, they'll wake up at like sometime in the middle of the night, put out the presents, like the extra presents that weren't already out under the tree. Maybe do a little stocking stuffing and stuff like that, and then usually you open them in the morning. And there's a few different variants, right? Like sometimes somebody will be a designated Santa. Like you'll let one of the youngest kids be Santa, and his job is to grab presents and bring them to people and be like, okay, here's your thing, and then let that person open it. Or sometimes I guess you go more in the order of, like the youngest, because they're ready to tear it open, whereas the adults can kind of wait,
Yeah.
But
I've spent a Christmas. Sorry, did you have?
No. Go ahead.
I've spent a Christmas with one of my ex-girlfriends, a Danish girl, here.
Yeah.
I've only spent 2 Christmas outside, not with my family, and one of them was here with my Danish girlfriend at the time. So I a Danish Christmas, and it was it was so strange. It was so strange, the lack of order, because I'm so used to we wait until midnight and then we open them in order, and then everybody sees everybody else opening the presents, so you open one at a time, you know?
Yeah.
Like there's a whole ritual
because
behind
everybody
it.
wants to kind of, and then everybody, wow, look how nice it is,
Exactly.
you know, and it's nice.
So here, and again, I don't know if everybody's like this, but it's the only Danish Christmas experience that I've had.
Okay.
First, we're eating.
Yeah.
Like we're eating, and there's the whole thing of eating Giselaman, right? And then there's something in there that whoever ends up catching that, they have to make it for next year or something like that. Anyway, as soon as the dinner is over, which obviously there's no specific time for it to be over, it's like, okay, now it's time to dance around the Christmas tree. And I knew about that tradition, so that didn't catch me off guard. I mean, it's strange. It's a little bit strange in itself, but at least that didn't catch me off guard. Okay, let's dance around the Christmas tree.
Yeah.
It's not really dancing around the Christmas tree. There's a Christmas tree somewhere, and you just dance around the fucking apartment.
Yeah.
At least that's what happened. You all hold hands and you just dance around. And then it's like, it's not even like, okay, we're going to sing this 5 songs or 10 songs. No, it's like, oh, okay, are we done now? No, one more. Okay. Then, are we done now? Yeah, okay, I'm tired. Okay.
Yeah, once everybody's worn out and nobody else wants to go anymore.
And then it's like, okay, let's open the presents now.
Okay.
And this is what really triggered me, I guess, because I haven't forgotten this, and I feel already excited.
Yeah, you seem
in a
excited.
kind of angry way talking about
this. I can tell you're heated about this.
The thing is, everybody was opening the fucking presents at the same time.
Nobody can really observe
it was the most
other person.
Chaotic thing I've ever seen. The whole thing took like 15 minutes, you know, because there's only so long you take to open presents. And then I had no idea what anyone else got. Nobody had any idea what I got.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, people are like, "Oh yeah, look at this." It's like, yeah, now I need to go show everybody. What the fuck? It was so strange. And I remember I was home before midnight even. Like it's okay, it's all done, okay.
But they open the presents at night. We always
like
open
9:30. I don't know. It was so strange. It's not even Christmas. It's the 24th.
Yeah,
it's not even Christmas yet.
I don't know, Dolph. And you know what else? Well, easy there. You know.
Tell me for
the Danish Christmas food. So boring.
Is it?
Yeah. Well, at least the one that you have at like the julefrokost, like the.
Oh yeah.
I mean, flæskesteg. Okay, that's a nice dish, but we didn't really have any of that, did we?
There was some kind of there was some there. You didn't see it?
I didn't see the proper. No, like the crispy flæskesteg. No, I saw some ham, like some cured ham. I saw another kind of flæskesteg like thing, but it wasn't crispy.
There was the crust thing on the side.
Oh, I must have missed it.
Yeah.
Anyways, the rest of the food was boring.
Yeah, I can't remember what I had for dinner there. Actually, I think it was some kind of duck. I don't know if that's a tradition or not. Yes. I think it was some kind of duck, but I don't recall with certainty. It's certainly not codfish.
Well, there you go. No abominable snowman. And
oh, dude, I remember another thing actually.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think it was around 94, and that's why I was asking if when you're 10 years old, if you're still supposed to believe in Santa Claus or not. Because I think it was around 94 that Santa comes into my apartment. You know? Like Santa comes in through the door, not through the chimney. Okay. I guess it's a more modern Santa. He just knocks or rings on the fucking door. Yeah. And then, oh, look who's here. It's Santa.
Yeah.
And I'm 10 years old or 9 or around there.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at, I remember this so vividly. I was laying on the couch.
Did you tug on a beard?
No, but I was laying on the couch and I was just, this kind of skeptical hippo meme eyes, I was so skeptical the whole time. And I just knew that that Santa looks a lot more like a lot like my grandmother or something like that,
Looks a little too skinny and the beard doesn't look right.
It just didn't feel
real to you.
So that's the first time that I remember, let's say, putting to test my belief in Santa,
being skeptical,
and it was skeptical for sure.
There you go.
I don't remember ever believing in it. There you go. Doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
No.
Maybe it was a bear. Maybe Santa is a bear.
No, that's the abominable snowman.
I know.
Rudolph.
I know.
You know what you don't know, and you can't be sure of,
Mm-hmm.
is whether somebody put some GHB in your drink.
Oof, that is true. Well, you probably find out afterwards.
You'd think so, but you might forget.
Okay, tell me something about it, Ford. Do you have any experience with it?
No. I've never taken GHB. But a record
but
number.
Maybe to get even spiked.
I guess, yeah, well, I guess I couldn't know, right? A record number of Danes are having their drinks spiked. The number of cases have doubled since 2013, Dolph.
Okay.
That's not good.
No.
People having their drinks spiked whilst out. Hold on. This sentence is confusing me while the way it's ordered. All right. People having their drinks spiked whilst on a night out is becoming a bigger problem every year, according to new figures from 2 hospitals in Copenhagen. 160 reports in 2017, which are already 40 more than last year, and double the 74 cases in 2013.
160, that's 1 every 2 days, kind of.
Yeah, but they say the problem is probably far greater than reported. Many people become so ill that they go home, but not to the hospital. When they wake the next morning, it can be difficult to ascertain whether the hangover feels different, so they may not even realize that they've been drugged.
Mm-hmm.
Women in particular are vulnerable to having their drinks spiked. And of course, they urge people never to accept drinks from strangers or leave them unattended. The most common drugs, or one of the most common drugs used to spike drinks, is GHB, which is easy to access, works quickly, leads to blackouts, and works for a couple of hours. Has no taste or odor. Have you ever taken GHB, Dolph?
No, I haven't.
Me either. That shit kind of scares me, actually.
Well, the thing is, if I tried it, I wouldn't try it in a party environment anyway. Well, at first, it doesn't seem to be very party-like drug, I guess.
But it also doesn't really seem like these people are like trying it, like you know what I mean, like
no, but
willingly.
No, not these people.
But what you're saying
sure.
is, if you were going to try it, you wouldn't do it in like a party or like a festival environment.
I'd try it at home and I'd read about it and I'd check the dose. Because I mean, the thing is, if GHB is used to spike drinks and to make people pass out.
Yeah,
I mean, that's not a
doesn't sound like that good of a time.
Exactly. It doesn't look like that great of a recreational drug.
If passing out's your idea of a good time, just...
So what I'm going to assume is that if there is a recreational use to it,
it's in a lower dose.
It's in a much lower dose. So I would research and always research your drugs. Come on, especially if you've never used them.
I have a feeling when we went to Elements, I think we went to Elements and we had never gone before, but I remember they were particularly picky about any kind of liquid that you brought in, to the point where we kind of had to be like, hey, this is like electronic cigarette. Like, this is juice for my vaporizer. Like, it just has nicotine. And they were like pretty aggressive about it, and they wanted to smell it, and which I guess it doesn't have any taste or odor. They wanted us to, I think one of us, we had to like taste it or lick it or show them that, hey, whatever, and vape it or something. But eventually they let us through. But what we found out, I guess, was the year before, apparently a bunch of people had died in there, like taking GHB, like took too much of it.
Did they actually die? Or I don't know. I don't know if anyone had died. But I know
feel like there was. Yeah, I know a bunch of people went to the hospital for sure.
Yeah.
But I felt like that there was at least somebody that died from it as well.
Okay, that I don't know.
Which, I mean, I guess it makes sense. Like, if it's no taste, no odor, you can probably put too much. And then also...
But that's not people spiking other people's drinks.
No, I think in that case it was probably recreational,
yes.
Or what they thought was recreational, right? Because it also, I think in lower dosages, at least according to what I've heard, it makes you just kind of feel extra drunk. Like you're, like just intensifies that drunk feeling. But I think it can lead to like respiratory failure if you take too much.
Yeah,
which is like those downers and stuff. That always scares me. That if you take too much downers, that you can stop breathing. Basically,
your whole body will actually
the end
go down, like stop or work slower.
Yeah, but that's scary, man. What kind of creepy person? Like, I
don't understand.
I don't understand the rationale. Well, I mean, I guess I do understand the rationale if you're just a creepy person who simply. I mean, I guess a lot of these are basically attempted date rape, right? Like if you put
any other use for it.
Yeah, if you put this drink in somebody's drink, like you're basically planning to take advantage of them in some way or another, and probably more than likely that's some sort of like rape thing, which is fucked up. I don't understand if you're out having a good time with somebody or whatever, the need to get to that point or to do that, you know? But
it's something that I wish I could actually. I don't get it. I really don't get it.
It's kind of one of those things where you almost wish that you could catch somebody in the act of doing it and like call them out right there and have some dole out some fucking justice right there. You know what I mean? Like, but you never do. It's always some sneaky fucking snake that puts this shit in somebody's drink. You know?
Man, I wish. Yeah, it's one of the. It's like,
wouldn't it be
I
cool?
wish.
Like in a way, wouldn't it be cool to fucking catch somebody doing that and like really fuck them up? You know, like maybe not physical, whatever, but hey, call them out right away. Fucking hold this guy, get the police to come down there and fucking get that guy some justice.
Well, yeah, okay. I guess
Dude,
in terms of making society better.
That's what I'm saying. Like, what if you're out? Like, let's say you got a girlfriend. Or what? Some guy tries to spike your girlfriend's drink and you catch him doing it.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to be fucking pissed.
Oh, yeah, but that's different.
Why is that different?
Well, because that's someone spiking my girlfriend's drink.
But what if you just see him spiking some other some other girl's drink or some other person's drink in the place? You're not going to say anything?
Sure, but I'm not going to get the same genuine like
justice boner
reaction as if it's someone that actually means something to me. I mean, I don't know if that sounds bad or not, but I mean, I'm obviously going to react differently if something happens to
somebody you know and
my
love.
Girlfriend or to a stranger.
Yeah,
regardless of being wrong either way or not.
I hear you. I don't know. I just wish. Fuck, man.
It's like I guess the justice I was thinking would be more like if you catch someone spiking, you know, and you just spike their own drink with some like really strong laxatives. That would be awesome.
I guess.
And then you kind of follow them with your phone, you know, just kind of waiting.
Take some video of them.
Yeah, just
put it on YouTube.
I mean, what other good time to have? What better way to have a great 2 hours of your life? You know, just following someone around until they shit themselves.
Yeah. Oh, that would go viral if you had like one of those.
Oh, for sure.
You know, like all those. There's been a lot of recent videos
because it would be both justice porn, and it would be funny in itself. Because I mean, let's be real. If you spike someone's drink with a laxative and you catch them taking a shit, it is funny. It's not something you should do.
No,
but I mean, it is funny.
Shouldn't have spiked that other drink.
I'm sorry to say, don't spike anyone's drinks with anything.
So keep an eye on your drinks, ladies and gentlemen. You know, they made, I saw some articles, some researchers made some sort of nail polish and also maybe some straws where basically there was like some special straws and also some special nail polish that you could kind of put in the drink and it would change color if it was in the presence of certain drugs.
Okay.
It's kind of cool.
So it's just nail. So could you have that on your nail, and then if you just swirl the drink with your finger?
At least the article I read at the time. Now I don't know how practical it was, like how expensive it is, how long it lasts on the nail.
Yeah,
you know, I mean, it's probably one of those things where it's probably just better to just keep an eye on your drink all the time. But
that's difficult, you know.
Well,
especially because the more you drink, the less you
really care.
or the easier it is for you to get distracted.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, this is really something I never understood.
No. Yeah, people doing it. Yeah,
is it desperation?
I think
so.
Is
it wanting to be mean? Like, what is it?
I gotta feel like for the majority of people that do it, it's probably a date rape thing. It's probably, like they said, women are probably the more often the victims. And they probably just, do it. And then once they know that they've kind of taken what they've spiked, they're like, oh, hey, we should go to my place, you know, like before they fully pass out.
Yeah.
And then try to take advantage. That's so fucked up, man. That's so fucked up.
It's really terrible.
It makes me mad just thinking about it.
It's really terrible. And yeah.
You know what else makes me mad just reading the headline?
What?
This next article.
What is this is gonna be one for you for it. I'm just gonna sit back here.
Are you sure?
No, I'll intervene.
But, Danish MPs demand streaming service tax. How's that strike you, Dolph?
That strikes me as that strikes me the exact same way, or maybe even slightly worse, but the exact same way as the whole TV tax here.
Oh, yeah. I would say this especially strikes me hard. This whole Danish fucking politicians want a streaming tax, especially because the fucking TV tax is already so expensive and comes out of my pocket. And it's
it's stupid. It's an enormously stupid tax.
And it's an enormously, well, okay, I don't know. I mean, having some money for public broadcasting, whatever. I mean, in the U.S., most public broadcasting is either non-existent or is funded directly off of donations instead of a tax. Having some sort of reasonable tax, like maybe I paid 300 or 500 crowns an entire year for the TV tax. Okay, I think that I would be like, all right, whatever, that's fine. But I mean, it's like more than 3,000 crowns a year, isn't it? Or 1,800 each time, or something.
It's like
1,800 each 6 months, right? Or something like that.
Something like that.
It's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money. But that's not even the worst. The thing that really annoys me about that tax, because I don't necessarily have a problem against paying tax for broadcast. The thing is, I came here. I didn't speak a single word of Danish. I mean, I started learning it.
Yeah, right.
But I didn't speak a single word of Danish. So immediately, pretty much nearly everything coming out of DR
is not accessible to you.
It doesn't mean anything to me. It's gibberish. It's the same thing as you having to pay tax for a Chinese TV channel because you can watch it online. It's like the Chinese government comes to you and says, hey, you have to pay this.
Yeah, I get it.
And the thing is, they probably, my guess is that they started being like, okay, people are not wanting to pay for this, so we need to force them to pay for this. How are we going to do it? Oh, okay. So if you have a TV, you have to pay the tax. Well, guess what? I don't have a fucking TV.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, if you have a radio, you have to pay the tax as well. Well, guess what? I don't have a fucking radio. You know, I don't live in the 50s anymore.
Yeah.
And then next thing, oh, well, if you have a smartphone, because you can watch this shit there. Okay, seriously.
Yeah,
where do we
stretch.
Stop?
Yeah, that's a big stretch.
It's so stupid. It's so stupid. I mean, just give people an access token, a physical token, a dongle, or a password, username and password.
Yeah, if they pay for it, and then they can watch it.
That's perfectly fine. Just put ads if people don't pay and give. I don't care. Forcing people to pay for something
that they don't watch,
that they don't use in any way.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. It's stupid. It's undemocratic. What would Trump think of this?
Yeah, I'm kind of in agreement. I mean, the thing is, let's not bring Trump into this either.
I got excited.
He's not my pillar of morals and decision making.
It's a Tuesday. I think doing this on a Tuesday
changes the feeling.
Yeah.
So Dansk Folkeparti and Social Democracy, they would like to see streaming services like HBO Nordic and Netflix contribute more to Danish film and culture. The parties would like the companies to either pay a streaming tax or invest a percentage of their turnover into developing Danish output, or both. 9 other European countries have already introduced similar legislation. In France, the companies pay a tax of 2% of their revenue and invest a certain amount, while in Italy, they invest 5% of their total revenue. I mean, so it sounds like this doesn't necessarily come directly out of my pocket, although maybe the amount I have to pay Netflix goes up if they're just going to offset. You know what I mean? But I would almost rather this if they get rid of that other fucking tax. You know what I mean? Like, I imagine 2 or 5% of what Netflix makes every year is probably more than enough to handle the majority of whatever DR needs. And God knows they have a lot of money. I forget what the figure is, how much they collect from that shit every year, even though a lot of people don't pay it. And I remember thinking it was just an enormous amount of money.
But why do they want this?
Well, because they can, I guess, right? I mean, in many ways, this is leading the whole cord cutting thing. Like in the US, you have people that basically only pay for an internet connection now. They don't pay for cable TV at all.
Mm-hmm.
And they just watch all programs on either HBO Go or Netflix or Hulu. Like, they don't pay for traditional TV, which is crazy because the traditional cable channels, I mean, minimum cost you $50 a month.
It's terrible.
And then if you have any kind of actual programming, like if you have any of the real channels that you would want to watch, it ends up being $130 a month.
Oh yeah, after YouTube, I don't think it makes that much sense anymore. To be honest.
So because of that, in the US, everybody cuts out all that, and it hurts the revenue of those companies. So I guess in Europe, maybe they want to get these big streaming companies to pay taxes. I don't know, man. I don't like it, but I don't think their media strategy with the whole TV tax and all that is very good here at all. Now, to be fair,
here in Denmark or in Europe?
Here in Denmark specifically. I don't really have a big opinion on the rest of Europe. Although I heard Portugal's been mentioned a lot recently with the whole
because of
net neutrality.
Yeah,
because they're saying how you have to like pay extra money for like certain access to different services. How does that work?
I'm not sure. I haven't lived there in 10 years for that. I really don't know.
Was it like that when you were still there, or no? This is more recent.
Not that I was aware of. No.
Okay. Because, I mean, that's fucked up, too, where you're like, okay, you can buy an internet connection, but you only have access to our site. Now, if you want access to Facebook and Snapchat and Twitter, you need to pay an extra $20 a month.
Yeah.
Or like BitTorrenting and stuff. You know they're going to throttle and block that. Oh, if you want the BitTorrent package, that's going to be an extra whatever.
I know that's an example that I'm totally against or for whatever. I don't really know.
You're for net neutrality. You're against that kind of bullshit.
Yes. Yeah. That blocking based on traffic, destination, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I think the case that happens in Portugal might not be, because I know that that's an example that is used all the time.
Right.
Because it's, I guess, the scary one. It's
or
like,
the easiest one to point out and the most obvious or something.
Like, people can make you have to pay just to go on Facebook. Or if they don't want you to access Facebook today, then you don't unless you pay.
Yeah.
I don't think it's exactly like that in Portugal. But it is there is some kind of pay for access with something. I don't know the details.
And if it were completely legal,
mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not like the companies are going to do the right thing. They're always going to just charge more wherever they can. You know, like at least in the U.S.,
for sure.
you've seen that's true because of the monopoly type situation that all the internet companies have there. I mean, any chance they can make more money and kind of fuck you over, like they're ready and willing to take it.
Unregulated capitalism is terrible because basically
scary,
there's no need to do anything good.
Yeah,
I mean, and some people like some people will say
greed is good and all that.
No, no, they just say, well, then somebody else will start
a
good service and then the free market and
the invisible hand and all that.
It's not.
And as soon as they start a good service, the guy that's had a monopoly for 100 years will just buy that company and dissolve it immediately.
And the people who say that are always people with money as well.
Yeah. So
you don't see anyone, just living paycheck to paycheck, being like, oh yeah, the invisible hand and the free market will take care of this shit.
Invisible hand's busy fucking me.
Fisting.
Yeah. So anyways, I don't know about this. Yeah, you really took it to another level.
Well, if it's the invisible hand.
Yeah, I guess so.
It's not the invisible penis for it.
So.
Oh, it's Tuesday.
Yeah.
It's Tuesday.
So that is streaming tax, huh? Yeah, they should get their head out of their ass about the TV tax because I think there's so many people that already don't pay it. And I mean, just even if they said, look, guys, we hear you loud and clear. We know you guys think it's too expensive, period. If you're going to do it, reduce it to like 500 crowns a year, 600 crowns a year, to where at least people will say, okay, I don't like this, but I don't care enough to have to hassle with avoiding the TV spy man or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I could see why people avoid the TV spy man for almost 4,000 Danish crowns a year. If it was 500, 600, okay, whatever. Just take my money, dude. Go away.
Yeah.
So first off, they could just reduce the amount and they would probably have more people pay it, which might end up kind of being a net, like the same amount of money, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Or like you said, they could do something where you pay, you get a token, you can watch the TV, you have a login that you can connect to like your CPR card or your NIMID login. You can watch the shit online. And if you don't have a token, well, you need to watch an ad every 15 fucking seconds.
Yeah.
Or you just don't get to watch anything at all,
or
which is totally fine.
Get different tiers, you know? Like if you pay the minimum amount.
Yeah, here's the public.
If you don't have a TV, you pay only the minimum amount because you only watch stuff online and it's going to have ads, for example.
Yeah.
If you have a TV, then I don't know, just find a way. This is ridiculous.
They need to modernize it. They really need to modernize it.
It's so stupid.
Yeah.
It's so stupid.
If you're listening, politicians, fucking fix that shit, please.
I think half our audience is politicians, yeah.
Exactly.
Well, if you're listening, politicians, pay close attention to
the sky.
To the next.
What's
the
that?
Next
Is that a bird?
News.
Is that a plane?
No,
is that Superman?
Yeah, that's true. There's gonna be a new one. Is it a bird? Is it a plane? Is it Superman? No,
it's a fucking drone watching me buy weed in Christania. God damn it, Dolph. Drones, the new weapon against illegal drugs in Christania. The Danish police are enlisting the help of modern technology in their effort to control the drug trade.
They're not controlling the
They're
drug
not
trade.
controlling shit. They're just fucking making some little fucking busts here and there. It seems like every couple months they try to get off their ass and act like they're doing something and make a little show of force and then
I think it's a show.
just
Yeah.
annoy people and then they go away for a while. Ah, this is so annoying. Special unit of the Copenhagen police force has been operating in and around the free city of Christiania on its notorious Pusher Street in a bid to stamp out the organized sale of drugs.
I like the voice you
God
make.
damn it. I just, it's just so meanwhile in fucking Colorado, One of the new methods being used in overflying the area using drones. Police efforts over the last 3 days have resulted in a haul of nearly 12 kilograms of cannabis, 3,500 joints, 8 blotter squares of LSD, and 27,000 crowns in cash. More than 60 buyers and 1 supplier have been charged with drug violations. So this is now they're going for the buyers.
Yeah, they're just basically trying to make people afraid.
Yeah, buyers have been the primary target. By using the drones, police have been able to follow them to and from the sellers' tables. Quote, then we just wait until the suspect arrives at the exit and stop them. So...
You know what this is going to do for it? I mean, I don't know if it's going to do, but you know what is a way of fighting this? Is that the drug trade is basically going to stop being, or would maybe potentially stop being centered in Christiania
and just move out to other
everywhere,
areas.
Which is exactly what happened many years ago when I think when they started busting this or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, because usually you have all this centered in one area and kind of contained.
Yeah.
And then if you fuck this up, you're not going to stop the trade. You're just going to move it.
I mean, this is kind of like the TV tax thing, right? This just shows a massive lack of understanding on the part of politicians, or just a massive understanding of it, and that really stopping drugs is not really their ultimate objective. It's about money and control. And that's really all it's about. It's about taxes and control. And the thing is, fuck, man. I know we go over this, and it almost becomes like the Copenhagen Cannabis Hour when we have a fucking podcast, because I feel like we talk about this so much. But really, if you look at Colorado, if you just understand it all, that you will never stop people from doing things that they want to do, and that you can only basically provide a framework where it's safer for them to do it and collect taxes on it if you think it's that bad, like a sin tax, and then use that money to better society. It baffles my mind that they think, listen to this quote, as long as there are buyers, there will be people selling drugs. We are doing this to underline the fact that it is risky to both buy and sell cannabis on Pusher Street. No shit, Sherlock. It's risky because you guys fucking do this shit. And it's risky because it's not legal. And ultimately, I think that really needs to change.
What about this quote right here? For as long as there are buyers, there will be people selling alcohol. We are doing this to underline the fact that it's risky to both buy and sell alcohol in Chicago. Huh.
Yeah.
Who would have thought?
Yeah. And that's the thing. That's the thing, is it's so ridiculous that, and then there's always this article, well, if alcohol was found out today, they wouldn't allow alcohol. It would be illegal too. Bullshit. That is fucking bullshit. It's more socially acceptable, and that's why that's illegal. And look how much money they make from the taxes on alcohol. They could do the same thing with cannabis. I don't think you would have any real negative effect on society, or any measurable one that's really significant. And you wouldn't have to waste all this money doing this stupid shit. And you would take all this money out of the hands of supposed organized crime and criminals and put it into the tax coffers. And then people who used the drugs would have cleaner, better drugs to do that are more safe, that aren't perhaps cut with something that they shouldn't be, or laced with something, or not properly flushed when they did the pesticide, like used some fucked up pesticides on them, or, didn't flush the fertilizer from them when they did the curing and all that. There's just a lot of problems that it would solve. So I guess you should take an eye in the sky if you're down there buying anything, and probably at night. I mean, I don't know how well these drones work at night, but I mean, I got a feeling that they probably aren't that accurate at night. I mean, I guess to be fair, they could use some sort of like thermal imaging or night vision stuff, which maybe they could still identify, But I'm curious how this works. Like, let's say you walk in there and you walk down Pusher Street and you stop at the Sunshine Bakery and get yourself a cookie, and you stop and you're near a stall. And let's say for whatever reason, let's say you stop and look at some stuff a guy has. And so you're right up there at the stand.
You need to pull your pants down when you come off, or...
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, let's say you just look and then, I don't like what you got, and you just keep walking, you know?
Mm.
Or maybe you do get something. Like how well are they going to be able to identify that? And then yeah, if they stop you, let's say you get something and you just smoked there inside the free city and you leave and you don't have anything. I mean, this just gives them a free opportunity to fucking harass you, you know? And yeah, I guess if you leave with something, yeah, maybe whatever, you get caught and maybe you deserve to. I don't fucking know if you believe that it should be illegal. But I'm with you. This is a cat and mouse game. You know, like back when they started doing all the raids and surveillance and stuff, all the pushers put up the netting, you know, and then when you had the shooting, all the citizens tore everything down and said there's not going to be any more nets. So now they're starting to do the drones. I guarantee you the nets are going to go back up. The nets and the roofs or whatever are going to go back up. And they're going to be training fucking eagles to fly and take the drones out of the sky. Are they going to create some fucking bazooka that shoots nets out and try to capture those drones? You know?
It's so stupid. I really just think that the easiest way to circumvent this is just basically start selling everywhere else.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Just push it out into
ridiculous.
the city and start having, you know, yeah.
And then it's worse for everybody.
Yeah, because
just imagine, regardless of where you live, you don't live in Christiania. If you're listening to this, you most probably don't live in Christiania. So this will just increase the drug trade around wherever you live. And it's not going to solve it. You're never going to solve this.
No.
The only way to solve this is to stop making it illegal.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a cliche, but just look at alcohol and prohibition. It's the same.
You can't stop people from doing
I
shit
have
they
to
wanna
say,
do.
though, I am kind of excited about the ways that are going to be found to circumvent this. Because as I was telling you earlier, Ford, I feel a little bit involved in this. Like, one thing is having an arms race like Russia versus USA or something like that, where, yeah, maybe it's not my country, but if I was American, yeah, it's my country, whatever. But this feels really like I'm a little bit more involved in it, you know? It's like, how are they going to solve this? And then if they train a fucking eagle to go and hunt drones down or something like that.
But you saw those articles. I mean, police in other countries have been training eagles to basically take down drones, especially around airports and stuff like that, you know, because it's a huge problem for air traffic. So, I mean, there's companies that have devices that can disable a drone with some sort of, not like EMP, but I mean, they can basically jam the GPS, like some targeted radiation type, I don't know, whatever. But they have devices that can fuck the drones up.
Yeah.
They have they have larger drones that carry a net that like swing the net into the drone. They have, the Eagles. They have like some launchers that launch nets. I mean, it's only a matter of time before some creative dude comes up with some way to basically get these down, or at least monitor them, and then just have some update. Hey, there's drones right now. You know, don't do anything.
It's stupid, and they're going after
the buyers.
Yeah. I think that's. I mean, well, maybe it's because I am a potential victim and a victim target, whatever you want to call it. I don't want to sound like victimizing myself, but you're going after the buyers. You're really gonna stop the drug trade if you put 15 people in jail. Not even every day, like every 3 days
for a tiny little bit.
It's so stupid. It is so. They're basically trying to incute fear into people.
So let's see, 11.7 kilograms of cannabis among 60 buyers. How much is that on average per buyer? Then
but there's also
they found one supplier. Let's assume that he is not in this equation. Although, he probably would have had the majority of stuff, right? But 11.7 divided by 60, that's 0.19 kilos.
200 grams.
200 grams per person? Yeah. That's 200 grams per person if you divide it by the buyers.
Holy shit, yeah.
So clearly, that's what I'm saying. This kind of fucked up shit in reporting. Clearly, probably the supplier they caught had like 10 kilos and everybody else had like a couple grams, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Who the fuck carries 200 grams out of Christiania like a normal buyer?
No, nobody.
Nobody.
No, nobody.
3,500 joints. I mean, come on. So
just divide the joints by the 60. I'm just curious.
Okay. So if this was by the 60, you'd have 195 grams per person per buyer. You would have 58 joints per person. You would have, okay, well, the LSD, who knows, but
it's 8 fucking blotters, you know?
You would have 500 crowns in cash. Okay, but what's interesting to me is how they conflate the numbers. They combine what they found in the buyers plus the supplier as a whole number to kind of make it seem worse, you know? Like if they just said, okay, on the 60 buyers, we found like 60 grams of weed, you know what I mean? Which is probably it, and 60 joints or 120 joints or whatever. And on the supplier, they found a lot. But they kind of conflate these numbers to make it seem worse than it is. But if you do the math, you know that this is ridiculous.
It's...
Oh, depressing. So...
I'm curious to see the development of this. Yeah. And yeah, just go buy your fucking drugs at night. I mean, it's easy now, you know? Just don't go there between 9 and 16 or 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. and you're good.
In the dark. Well, and the other resource, I mean, if people, you know, are interested in what's going on around that area with regards to police activity, they have that Facebook page, right? Politi Razia.
Yeah, Politi Razia po Christiania.
It's like a Facebook page where they just post about if there's any police activity in the area, which is probably, you know, going to be lit up anytime there's drones. That's going to be on there. Hey, they're out, they're flying and stuff like that. So, you know, again, it's cat and mouse. It's depressing. This makes me a little bit sad.
What if some people start still selling the drugs inside, you know?
Yeah. I just also thought like Denmark seems to be such a relatively progressive society, you know, and for them to be stuck in this super old school kind of way of thinking about this is just, it's like, come on guys, wake up.
It's ridiculous.
They could have so much free tax money, just fucking made it legal. Any more thoughts on that?
I have so many thoughts for it, but I don't want to just keep talking about it.
The Copenhagen Cannabis Hour
all Tuesday. No, it's not that bad.
No, but I mean it's an ongoing topic. I mean, the reason we talk about it a lot is because also it's in the news a lot. I mean, I
it
think,
is a big part of what's going on in Copenhagen.
And there was also a recent article, I guess we don't have this one up, but there was a recent article talking about there were some politicians wanting to do a people's vote about whether they should legalize cannabis in Copenhagen. I don't know if you saw that earlier this week.
No, I didn't. But the thing also with the...
But they did some survey.
Is it the people's vote throughout all of Denmark or only among Copenhagen people?
I'm not 100% sure on that.
If it's to legalize the sale in Copenhagen, I mean...
Then it'll... Well,
does it really matter what some guy in Esbjerg thinks about this?
No, because I think...
Much respect to everybody living in Esbjerg.
I think they did a survey and they said more than 50% of people here would... Like, I don't remember the exact number, but it was like 56 or 58% or something like that were in favor of legalizing it. So, I mean, the people want it. You know, or even if they don't want it, they don't care. They would rather it be legal. So, there you go.
Do you have some other news other than this one? Just for the next one. No. I want to go back to this one. Just
something a little more uplifting, or
just let me rest a little bit because I have so much to say about the other one.
Yeah, I'm trying to find something uplifting. But,
there you go.
Oh, is this uplifting? This doesn't seem uplifting. God, these are
there's nothing uplifting.
All right, here's something uplifting. Danish homeless people are now able to open bank accounts.
Yeah.
One of the many difficulties confronting homeless people is how to get their benefits paid out. Since checks were abolished at the beginning of 2017, this has become more of a problem. Nowadays, in order to get your money, a homeless person needs a bank account and a bank card of some sort, but they're trapped in a catch-22 situation. You can't get a bank account if you don't have an address. In other words, if you're homeless. I didn't know that. I didn't know that the benefits checks thing was abolished the beginning of this year. So
Me neither.
That is kind of fucked up. I mean,
yeah.
And the banks here do require you to have, you know, well, especially I'm American. They're like, they require you to have all kind of shit if you're an American, but I guess they want to see that you have an address to send things to.
Mm-hmm.
But
you know what I live in Istigal, and I say this almost every single podcast.
Yeah.
You know what I'm not looking forward to? When when homeless people, if they have a bank account, maybe the next thing that they'll have is a mobile pay. And
well,
then
they already do, dude. I've seen walking on Fieldstall, You know that Netto right there. There's often some of the guys. What's the association for
Who's for B?
Yeah, Who's for B. There's some guys that always have Who's for B jackets out there.
Mhm.
And I remember seeing like a couple of weeks ago or a couple of months ago, I mean, the guy has like a mobile pay number on there,
Yeah,
like a
but that's
cardboard
different.
sign with a
At least
mobile
they're
pay.
selling something,
Yeah.
I'm really I live on Eastegel, and every day there's at least one a day
Yeah. So
that I
this
get asked for money. So the next thing, because
Yeah, then you say, "I sorry, I don't have any cash
Yeah,
or any
'cause-
coins."
'cause
Then they're gonna be
yesterday-
like, "Hey, you got a phone? I see it in your hand, bro."
Yesterday I went to this kiosk,
Yeah.
and there was this kid, this small kid, I don't know, he was like 8 years old. He probably still believed in Santa Claus, and he was selling these scratch calendar things where you just scratch once a day until the 24th,
Yeah.
and then if you get 3 of a kind or something like that, you win a prize.
Clever little bastard.
And I don't think I even thought. I just
Sorry, kid.
gave my automatic answer. No, sorry, I have no
Sorry,
cash.
kid,
or
I don't have
something
any
like that.
cash. He
It's
said,
like,
"Oh, that's
we
okay."
take mobile pay. Like, and I was with a friend
Yeah.
of mine, and it's like, oh shit, he got me. Because I was going inside the store
Did you
anyway.
buy it? Did you buy one?
Yeah. Then when I came out, I was like, it's 20 krona, just take it. And I actually gave him cash. I don't know if he noticed or not. I don't know if he noticed or
he
not.
noticed.
But I actually gave him cash.
Yeah.
But I felt that he was there just waiting for me, because as soon as I gave him the cash, he just got the fuck out of there.
Yeah, pretty soon these homeless people, they're gonna have mobile pay, Apple Pay,
Yeah,
and
what
fucking
can you say?
Bitcoin Cash.
I need to find another excuse,
Yeah,
dude.
that's the
seriously.
next. That's the next excuse. You
I-
got to just tell them, "Hey, sorry, man. All I got is Bitcoin."
Okay, yeah. Seriously, sometimes I give, like when I go to Footex and there's Who's for Big guy outside, I
Give 'em a
usually
little something.
give him whatever coins I have.
Yeah,
It's usually 20 krona max, 20, 30, something like that, and sometimes it's less. But the people on the streets just they are so annoying, and it's I live there, I see these people. I know their face. I know the line that they're gonna come up with. I know exactly what they're gonna say.
yeah.
What was the article again? I'm going a bit off on a
that they're
rant.
able to open bank accounts.
Okay, that's good.
But I mean, I guess they also said that the Association of Danish Municipalities and some umbrella organization for banks, Finance Denmark, have also come up with a solution. There's been some criticism of the fact that homeless people were unable or had great difficulty in getting a bank account. Homeless people have been forced to collect a signed piece of paper from the authorities, which was then delivered to the bank, and a municipal employee has then been able to withdraw the money together with the homeless person. But this meant that they were carrying large sums of cash, leaving them vulnerable on the streets. Yeah.
What is the reason why people actually need an address to have a bank account? Is it just a point of contact? I'm curious why it's so important to have an address.
I bet it has something to do just in general with trying to keep an eye and track of who has what account, and kind of making it harder for you to just open a bunch of accounts with fake names or fake.
But if you need a CPR number, then it's already taken care of.
Yeah, but don't you have to have an address to get a CPR number too, right? I'm pretty sure you do.
Maybe. The thing is, if you're Danish and you
Okay.
all of a sudden become homeless, you're not going to lose your CPR number.
But here's
because
part of the
that.
problem: is remember when I signed up for the bank account here, they send you your NIM ID card if you don't have one.
Oh yeah, and the cards,
and then they
yeah.
send you the other, like the actual Visa card or the Dan card, and then they send the PIN code or the CVV code, some separate deal,
yes.
the activation.
Yeah.
So it is saying here that for security purposes, the card and code is sent to two different addresses.
No, not too different.
I know, but in this particular solution that they're making, they're saying for security purposes, the card and code are sent to two different addresses. The homeless person can collect the card at the bank, while the code is sent to the municipality, so it can be collected at the office. That way we ensure the homeless person has a secure account. I don't know. I mean, I guess they're saying some of it's security stuff.
But if people are going to collect the card at the bank, why can't they get the code at the same time?
I don't know. Well, I mean, I guess if you identity theft or something, if you had somebody's CPR, you could go in there and then but I guess you could do the same if you also went to a municipality. Yeah, that's a good question.
I understand sending in two different letters at two different times home, Because then, the mailman can't just
steal your stuff.
Find your card and whatever.
Fucking Post Denmark.
Post Nord.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, well, good for them.
Yeah, I
mean, for me, if I ever become homeless,
it's a good thing. Now I'm gonna start asking homeless people for money. Say, hey, you got some money? No, do you? Heard you got a bank account. There you go.
That's what I should do. Next time asking for money, sorry, I don't do you.
Yeah. Turn it around on them. Say, hey, sorry, I don't have any coins or any cash.
No,
say, oh, that's fine. You can use mobile pay. You say, I don't even have any money in my account. Can you send me some?
Or maybe before, I already know them, before I let them talk, I just, hey, excuse me, do you have like 3 krona?
Yeah.
Just 3 krona? I needed to buy a ticket.
I feel like some of them are going to feel kind of annoyed.
Oh, probably.
By that.
But I feel annoyed as well when this, I'm not expecting them to recognize me,
Yeah. But when the same guy asks you every day for like a month.
Yeah. I'm not expecting them to recognize me. In the beginning I was. And I think some of them probably already do. Yeah. But not the ones that are more like out of the loop, like out of reality. You know?
Like, there's that cheap long-haired bastard that never gives me anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I talk about you or about me for it?
Fuck, I guess both of us, because I think I've given a couple coins a few times to some people, like Who's for B, and then there's probably been some other guys. Actually, there's a guy that sits on Fielstrahl, and he doesn't ask for anything. He just sits there, and he sits right across from the church, and he has like a blanket over his legs, and he's just sitting there trying to keep his hands warm. And I've actually felt like recently, I remember feeling a month ago, I walked by and I was like, fuck, man, that guy didn't have any gloves at all. And it was right around the time where it started getting cold enough to where you have to start putting gloves on.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, man, this gotta fucking suck. He's going to sit there all night with no gloves at all. I mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I walked like a little further and there was a store that had some gloves there. And I was like, fuck, I should buy some gloves and just go bring them to the guy and give them to him.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't. But I saw him again the other day. And I think actually, like, I'm just going to buy some gloves from like Bilka or somewhere where, they're not the best gloves in the world. And I'm just going to give them to him one day.
Yeah, do that.
It's probably better than some fucking coins. Then I'll feel like
Christmas.
That'll be my good thing for the.
Give him a sticker for Unfiltered Copenhagen. Maybe he'll start listening.
Maybe.
Yeah, just put it in the gloves. Come on.
Yeah.
Maybe he likes it.
Anyways, I'm going to do that for that guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
What, did you have something else?
No, I had, but it's that doesn't matter. I'm sure it will come up at some other point in the future.
All right. Well, this is the topic you really said you wanted to talk about.
I like
deeply.
The French are outraged.
anything with a group of people being outraged, and especially the French being outraged.
French are outraged. Why are they outraged for it?
French outraged by Danish art collective's inclusion of Paris Attacker in Martyrdom exhibition. The key contributor, previously responsible for a dramatization of the writings of mass killer Anders Breivik. Okay, well, this guy seems like he's out to shock and awe.
So what did he do exactly?
The French embassy in Germany has condemned an exhibition staged by a Danish art collective on the subject of martyrdom, which includes one of the men responsible for terrorist attacks in Paris in November 2015. Quote, while we stand by our support of artistic freedom, we strongly condemn the conflation of martyrdom and terrorism, the embassy said. Of the work, The Other Eye of the Tiger, which also provoked public outcry when it was shown in Denmark last year. Among the 20 martyrs included in the Martyr Musée exhibit are obvious choices like Martin Luther King, Joan of Arc, Socrates. They clearly meet the collective's criteria of dying for their convictions. But many people have questioned the inclusion of Ismail Omar Mustafa, who together with 3 others killed 90 people at the Bataclan music venue in Paris, and Mohammed Atta, the best known of the 9/11 terrorists who attacked New York in 2011. Additionally, a rather macabre addition, an entrance ticket to the Bataclan on that fateful night is included in the exhibit. Yeah, this feels... Yeah, you go ahead. This is one of those really touchy subjects where I feel like, first off, artistic freedom and all that. But at the same time, you're kind of a dick move. You know, like you're kind of a dick for doing this kind of shit.
Dick for whom?
The guy who's doing this exhibition.
But who is he being a dick for? The victims of this, or the families of the victims of the people who died at Bataclan and 9/11 and stuff like that?
And the countries that suffered those attacks and all that shit. Yeah, I think so. I mean, look, okay, you're going to compare Martin Luther King to Muhammad Atta?
Well,
I think that's a stretch. I think that's a fucking stretch.
I'm not trying to compare anyone to anyone else, but it's hard to argue that all of them are martyrs for their own convictions, right? Whether you and me or the majority of the people or a minority of the people agree with that, that's a completely different point.
Sure.
But it's also, I mean, you could argue that if the Civil War in the States hadn't ended up the way it did, and the states actually had been segregated, then Martin Luther King would, well, I know that's much later and stuff like that, but basically Martin Luther King is an icon because the things that he fought for became the norm, right?
Right.
Regardless of us agreeing whether that's right or wrong. In this case, of course, it's right. But regardless of that, if people are fighting for something and are being martyrs for something, and that ends up being contrarian to what the majority of the people in the world agree with, and that becomes, let's say, that doesn't become the norm, then those people are not seen as martyrs, I guess, or at least they're not seen as these people that should be celebrated. They're just seen as terrorists. It's, I mean, there were a lot of it's a different, like if there is a terrorist attack somewhere, like just pick up Nelson Mandela and like South Africa, you know, like all the things that when people are fighting the apartheid, some people would look at it as terrorist attacks as well, you know, even though people are fighting for something that the majority of the world, or I'm going to say the majority, I don't know if it's the majority, maybe at the time it was not the majority, I don't know, but that the majority of the world, at least nowadays, would agree that, they were fighting the good fight. But imagine, let's imagine this, and I know this is a bit far-fetched. Imagine that Muhammad Atta, that's the pilot on 9/11, right?
One of them. One of them. Yeah.
Imagine, well, he died for this, you know. Now imagine that in 400 years, for some reason, all the Christian countries, like everybody dies, and basically the religion of the world is Islam, you know? Maybe he'll be seen as an icon, just like we're seeing Martin Luther King nowadays as an icon, because the majority of the people agree with those things. So,
okay, maybe, but I for one, I think the biggest difference here primarily is that in these attacks, innocent people were killed basically indiscriminately, right? Like you weren't attacking your enemies.
Yes.
You're just killing innocent people.
Yes.
And on top of that, the reason I say this is really kind of a dick move is like we've seen with all the mass shooting stuff and everything like that. The prevailing advice is that if you want to try to limit or reduce the amount of mass shootings, is that you don't glorify the killer.
Yes.
You don't put his name everywhere. You don't celebrate the killer.
Yeah.
And in a way, that's exactly what this does. When you put a guy like Muhammad Atta or this Ismail Omar next to Martin Luther King and Socrates and all this stuff, I mean, you're glorifying what they've done. And what they've done in these two cases is literally just kill innocent people, scores of innocent people, and change people's lives forever.
Like the US has done all over the world, mostly in the Middle East. But so that's just my point. And that's not considered terrorism because guess what? The media that we see and all that, it's all okay.
I get it.
So I'm not trying to defend anyone. I'm just trying to put things as bluntly as possible. And I don't have any particular appreciation for Islam, or I think everybody should try to live in harmony and all that. But I mean, I do think that if you're going to look at this objectively, I don't particularly see anything immediately wrong with talking about these people, because we as people, we've had fascination with serial killers and stuff like that since forever. I mean, look at the Wild West, look at Jack the Ripper, look at all these things. Like there's people who just been on the run, like Bonnie and Clyde, and
Sure.
all those, like the Old West. I can't remember the names now off the top of my head. Billy the Kid, like all those guys.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know all their stories, but they are known for just shooting people and just killing people and then being on the run. And guess what? There's movies made about that. There's movies about Jack the Ripper. There's movies about all the gangsters in back in the 20s, and Al Capone and the Prohibition and all that shit as well.
Yeah.
And people, especially even as recent as like Charles Manson just died like a week or two ago, people have been fascinated by these people, like Bugsy Siegel, by the gangsters, the serial killers. One of my ex-girlfriends, she was completely obsessed with like
Oh boy. Oh boy.
She just knew a lot about all the serial killers, because it is a fascinating subject. It is a fascinaking subject. Now,
sure, it's like a morbid curiosity thing, right? Like
Yeah, exactly.
watching all those
Exactly.
kind of whodunit things and unsolved mysteries. I remember we talked about that.
It is
Yeah.
fascinating how someone can be so different. And I mean, I do believe that all of us, or at least nearly all of us, in some way, if understand the capability of doing something like that. Whether I obviously I don't think I could
Whether
ever
anybody
do that.
would do that, yeah.
But it does. I don't see it, and I don't see a serial killer and think, "Wow, I really have no idea how this could ever happen." I mean, I could be fucked up in my head. I could be having the worst life ever. Just, well, instead of killing myself, let me just kill a bunch of people before, just because, why not? I understand that it's not right. It's obviously not right. If you feel like that, you should just try to get some help
Yeah.
instead. But I do understand that it's a valid thought.
Yeah.
That if you want to kill yourself, maybe you also be like, well, I might as well go off with a fucking bang. Don't do that if you're listening to this.
Well,
but and I understand the glorification. That we shouldn't glorify these things.
mm-hmm.
I do understand. I also believe that the reason why we shouldn't, like the whole thing about we shouldn't glorify these people, a big part of why that's talked about nowadays
Mm-hmm.
is because of copycats, obviously. Because I think it comes from the States mostly, because you see all these mass shootings and
Everyone is bigger than the last.
yeah,
and all
exactly,
that.
and people want to outdo the others. And I do think that I mean, I don't think they should be celebrated like in there's this guy who just killed 30 people and now it's on the news everywhere, and tell his name and all of a sudden he becomes famous, even if it's only for 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they should be celebrated. But I do think that making them hiding information about them is curing the symptoms and not curing the cause. And curing the cause, it would be
addressing the violent culture.
Addressing, I don't know if it's, I guess
do.
the culture.
In the US, you have a super violent culture.
Mental illness, all those things, like that's really what you should be worrying about, not about, I mean.
Well, and the other thing about it, if you try to cover up who it is, of course, people have this curiosity, this morbid curiosity, like you were talking about, and it's going to get out somewhere. And if it doesn't, then you're going to have this whole new alt-right, fake news, conspiracy theory machine. People are going to say, like, there's going to be conspiracy theories flying. Oh, it was the government. That's what they said about the fucking Las Vegas shooter. That, it was some guy that the government sent in there to do this thing and all that.
Yeah.
So I guess in a way, that's almost as dangerous. Anyways, maybe this guy's exhibit is working, right? Because he says, quote, "I can't understand the criticism. This is in 2016. This isn't the most recent response, but this was regarding when there was some outrage about putting some dramatization of the writings of the mass killer Anders Breivik. He said, I can't understand the criticism. The effort is an earnest one to investigate what a martyr is and how in some cultures you define martyrs in one way and in others define it in another way. I think it's a completely legitimate question and a starting point for an expedition. And he said in response to the more recent criticism, all the martyrs in the artwork have been appointed martyr by either a state, religion, or an organization. None of the martyrs have been appointed by the artists. So, I mean, in a way, like we've had this discussion about, what makes somebody a martyr. Is it in 400 years, if there's only Islam left, will they look back and say, oh, he was a martyr? Or, the same thing with, like you were talking about it, if, segregation had fully happened and the Civil War didn't happen or whatever, would Martin Luther King be a martyr and all that? So
it's more like being celebrated. Maybe you can always call them a martyr, in my opinion. Whether they're celebrated or not depends on the outcome.
And I guess necessarily that maybe this exhibit is not necessarily celebrating them, but maybe more just kind of here's some things that have been appointed martyrs. So I still think it's a bit of a dick move. I don't know. I guess in the respect of freedom, I respect, I guess, this guy's freedom to have this exhibit if he wants. I mean, people can hate it all they want or whatever. I'm certainly not going to go check it out or anything like that. But yeah, I can also definitely understand why. First off, the French are angry about it. I mean, it's so recent in their history. I mean, this would be like having something like this on American soil right after 9/11.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So it's gonna sting. It's gonna make people mad, and yeah, but maybe it will foster some discussion about it. I mean, I guess that's a fair point as well. Oof. What do you think? Are you ready for some lighthearted, jovial news? I feel heavy. I feel heavy when I talk about some serious shit like that.
I just feel that I've been ranting a little bit today. I don't know if I have been more than usual or not. But I blame it on the Tuesday and on the unorthodox recording.
It's not a weekend, yeah. Well, Tuesday or not, we got a fucking podcast to do,
There we go for it. Because we missed it last Saturday. Yeah. Sorry about that. We had a Christmas party.
So speaking of big stuff going on in the news, what else we got here? Big Danish ballet name suspended in the U.S. in wake of a sexual harassment accusation. #MeToo. It's boy, I mean, there's been a bunch of shit regarding this. I mean, a bunch of news has coming out with, you have Kevin Spacey, Harvey Weinstein. I mean, just that I can't even.
Oh, and that's just two of the names.
That's two of them. I mean, I can't even list
there's hundreds of names now.
Yeah, but what do you think about this whole thing? I mean, there's certainly seems to be a shift in. I guess it's almost like you kind of had a dam kind of cracking and then the water just starts flowing out and then suddenly it's just a complete waterfall of stuff coming out because either people felt more comfortable once they saw somebody else come forward or whatever. Yeah. What's your whole take on this deal?
I mean, this is a very big topic, and I'm sure we're going to keep addressing it in the upcoming podcasts because there's going to be more news.
Yeah,
more news
no
about
doubt
it.
in my mind.
And I do well. First, I really do think that that some door opened.
Yeah,
because of this. Whether that door is going to remain open or not, that we have yet to see. But I do think that a door has opened, and some people have got a perspective of, oh shit, this is going on, and I actually genuinely didn't know about it.
Mm-hmm.
And the door being open leads to more people going through that door, just to keep the analogy. So more
like
people coming out and doing this. I think, for example, one of the there's just so much to say about this. I don't want to. I could be here for.
Well, we haven't even gone through the article. We haven't even named. We haven't even named
the
guy.
It's okay. I'm gonna just put it brief, just because you asked me what I feel about this.
Well, yeah, of course.
I think one of the things that for me was very revealing. I mean, I don't think it's any surprise to anyone if the headlines write something like "big movie producer was sleeping with actresses in exchange for roles. I mean, if you put it like that,
Sure.
everybody's gonna be like, no shit.
Yeah.
It's I think it's, I guess the details of how everything came out and the things that made it just feel a bit more real, because now there's names and there's specific stories. That's what awoke some people. For me personally, the thing that really surprised me, or that really kind of hashtag woke me, was as soon as the Harvey Weinstein thing came out. I think it was Cameron Russell. She's a model, and she also posted some story on her Instagram about some girl who had also been harassed by a photographer or something like that.
Yeah.
Like a fashion photographer, something like that. And then people just started sending her stories and stories, non-stop stories, and she just posted so many of them. And as I was reading in the beginning, I was like, "Holy shit! Okay, this is happening." And then I just saw story after story after story, and I was like, "Holy shit! Okay, I genuinely didn't expect or didn't know." It's not that I didn't expect it.
Like the
I didn't
extent
the
of
extent
the
of it.
yeah. I think
It
that's what
was
was shocking
crazy.
too, is like when the Weinstein
It
stuff
was
started
crazy.
coming out, you're like, okay, there's one story here. Well, there was also that bombshell reporting. I don't remember if it was a Washington Post or a New York Times. I feel like it was a New York Times. But I mean, they had done some extensive research, and I think they had 10 or 15 stories that seemed to be well researched and corroborated. And then you just read one after the other, and you notice the similarities each time, and you're like, okay, this can't be a coincidence that like 15 people have basically the same experience of
Yeah.
this guy, and kind of creepy, like, oh yeah, come over and give me a massage. And
Yeah,
then
it's always the
it's
same.
always like the same play and everything like that. And yeah, I guess I'm in agreement. I mean, I was shocked. Like you said, if somebody said, "Wow, big person in power abuses to get some sex," like for instance, executive producer abuses his position to have sex in return for good roles, right? And we're kind of like, yeah, no shit. But at the same time, like, how did we get to the point? Like, when was it so accepted and okay to just be at the point where it's like, yeah, no shit, it's like expected almost. And I guess that perception is what's changing, and finally people are coming out and saying, look, this is not fucking okay,
Mhm.
and I'm pretty happy for that. I think at the same time we do have to also be careful about, I know that there's always going to be people that come out of the woodwork whenever there's anything like this, that also want attention. Like, and it's really
Yeah.
shitty because you don't want to start painting that picture that some
Mhm.
people are coming out for attention,
Oh,
but it's true.
it is. It
There's like
is.
a small percentage of people that will always just kind of lie and say, oh yeah, whatever. I had something done to me. And maybe, out of the 99 people that's true, there's like one fucking person that almost ruins the bunch and the credibility of everybody. So I think we have to be careful to let these things go through like an actual legal process and make sure that, you know what I mean? Like, surely if 15 people have the exact same story, there's going to be evidence to
Yeah.
corroborate it and whatever. So I think it's also something where I don't want to start judging people until I feel like facts have fully come
Mhm.
out and all that. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Whereas in some cases, I feel like there's already so much stuff in the public eye
Mhm.
that maybe it's hard for it not to really be true. So like the Harvey Weinstein thing,
No,
I mean,
yeah,
he's already
that's
guilty in my mind,
I
and maybe that's also bad. Maybe we really should hold it to like an innocent until proven guilty
well,
kind
I
of
mean,
thing.
yeah,
But in that case, I have a pretty high confidence that he's going to be, guilty. But that's my only kind of like worry there. And especially
Mhm.
like this story. I mean, we haven't even talked about the story yet, but famous Danish ballet dancer and choreographer Peter Martins, you said, or
No,
Martins,
Martin's,
I
yeah, I
don't
don't
know.
know. I don't know.
He's been temporarily suspended from teaching at the American Ballet School in New York City in the wake of an anonymous accusation of sexual harassment. He's 71. He's been the head of the world famous New York City Ballet for many years. He's been accused of sleeping with dancers and students and often giving them better roles as a result. Um, the school said the safety and well being of our students is our priority. We have, quote, we recently received an anonymous letter making general, non specific allegations of sexual harassment by Peter Martins at both New York City Ballet and the school. So I guess they hired an independent law firm to look into the matter based on the anonymous letter. Yeah, I mean, this kind of thing. Anonymous letter lacks any specifics. it's hard to say, right? Because it could definitely be true that somebody's just too scared to come forward and identify themselves or give any information that would have done.
You know? And it's not even far-fetched.
Again, it's not far-fetched because it seems just like the kind of Harvey Weinstein deal. But at the same time, I don't want to immediately say, okay, this guy's guilty. You know, like hashtag Me Too is going on. So if somebody says something anonymous, no details about it, he's got to be guilty. Like this is one of those things where I want to be careful and be like, okay, well, let's see how this plays out. And yeah, maybe he totally is. I mean, it doesn't sound far fetched, like you said, but
I mean, imagine a random person who has a photo of a naked girl on his phone, you know, and for some reason there comes an article online that goes viral because this person is known or whatever, saying like, this person is a pedophile because the girl was 14 years old, whatever.
Yeah.
It's just a picture on a phone, but the girl was 14. And then basically paint this person as a pedophile. You basically ruin this person's possibly life. And then guess what? Maybe later you find out that
it wasn't true or
no,
something
that
like that.
this girl, you had a picture of a girl. It's a porn actress and she's 18 and she just looks really young, you know?
Yeah.
Now try to
undo.
To undo.
Yeah. There's no undo button. For
you
that.
can't.
Yeah.
You can't.
Yeah.
What's the first thing you think of when you think of Mel Gibson? You think of Braveheart?
I would say Passion of the Christ. Yeah, that's what I would say.
Okay, so you don't think about him getting drunk and the whole thing about the Jews?
Not necessarily.
Okay,
no.
I do.
Okay.
Maybe that
Fair
says
enough.
more about me. I don't know.
I don't think... I kind of remember briefly that happened. I don't remember... At the time, I think it was one of those things where I like read the headline or something. I never really... I don't know if there's video of it or what.
There's audio.
Okay,
audio.
maybe I should listen to it.
Because
Because now, you know... You've got my interest piqued. But at the time, I didn't care. I don't know how long ago it was. But when I think Mel Gibson, I think Passion of the Christ or Braveheart, personally.
Okay.
But yeah, maybe I should think about the Jews rant that he had.
Well, the thing is also that in this instance with Mel Gibson, then you also see all these like the comedy talk shows and the SNL and stuff like that.
Then they start
making fun of it.
Yeah.
So it becomes like the cultural... It joins the cultural ethos or whatever you call it, you know?
Yeah.
It becomes the main thing that this person is known for.
Yeah, everybody becomes the X guy, where it's like X is whatever thing that, you know, it's like, oh, he's
it's like if you think of George Michael, maybe at first you think that he was in Wham, you know?
Okay.
Or maybe first you think that he was found in the bathroom with some other guy or whatever the fuck it was, you know? There's things you can't undo. So if you start...
Okay, well, when I think of Kevin Spacey now, I think of all the allegations and stuff. That have come forward.
To be honest, that's happening.
Before,
but that's happening right now.
Yeah, that's true.
That's happening right now.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's been... I mean, he admitted it.
Well, he didn't necessarily.
He didn't admit it.
He actually went to a backhanded thing. He got accused, and then he said, "I'm coming out as a gay man."
No, yeah, but that
and
was...
then he was like, "I don't recall that, but if I did it, I'm sorry. I must have been very drunk, and that was inappropriate, or something like that." And then he was like, "I'm going to go get some help for my own issues or soul searching," and he's been quiet ever since for like a month or however long it's been.
Oh well, you got so much backlash for coming out on that.
Sure,
which in a way I understand.
Yeah, it's not the best time, right? Maybe he was trying to get ahead of.
Oh, he was
something.
definitely. He was definitely trying to play a bit of. Hey, look at me! I'm part of a kind of victimized group as well. Yeah, for sure.
So did you see this too? It says in Denmark, a number of Zentropa employees have come forward with stories of sexual humiliation at the hands of Peter Olbeck. And prior to this, the singer Bjork accused another co-founder of the company, director Lars von Trier, of sexual harassment during the filming of Dancer in the Dark. I didn't know about that.
I saw the Bjork accusations. I saw some.
When was that? Recent?
A couple of weeks ago.
Okay. So during this.
It was during
more of this Me Too thing.
Yes. I saw some big either article or Facebook post, something like that she wrote about Lars von Trier.
What's the Danish version of Me Too? Jeg også?
Osmai? I don't know.
Osmai. Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if there is one.
Okay. Oh, I don't know. I don't know if they're using the Me
no,
Too
I don't know either. But I hadn't heard about this Peter Holbeck.
Peter Olbeck.
No, but I had seen about Lars von Trier.
Well, more to come, probably, no doubt, in the next months, years, whatever. I mean, I guess we'll be talking about other people. Who's your money on next? If you had to guess if you had to guess one person
I'm not playing that
that
game
you
for
really, you're not playing that game.
No, I'm not playing that fucking game.
I know it's a dangerous game.
Yeah, well.
All right, I won't get into guessing game either.
Man, this is an episode like it's a
heavy
rant-inducing episode, huh?
It's a heavy one. What are we looking like on time? I feel like we're at about an hour and 40 minutes.
1 hour and 40 minutes, you say? Well, we are at 1 hour and 35 minutes for it.
All right. Well, we got a little time. We don't want to keep the episodes too long, but I think we got another 10-ish minutes.
We have so many articles.
Because we do have more. This one is pretty boring.
That's boring.
This one is also, it's kind of interesting, but oh boy.
Oh, no.
More terrorism.
Let's
not talk about terrorism. How about this? Danske Bank, the least credible bank, according to Danes. The bank is still trying to polish up its image after shitstorms of yesteryear.
It's my bank. It's the one I have.
How are you? Are you happy with them?
I'm okay with them. I think they definitely have some a lot. It's like sometimes you have to pay for everything, you know?
Yeah.
Like you do this and you have to pay, and you do that and you have to pay. And yeah, I think they might charge a little bit too much for things that probably shouldn't even be charged for. And I know there are other smaller banks that, but the thing is, I've actually taken in total like 4 or 5 loans with them in the past. I've all of them paid off by now, but I have at least 4 different times taken a loan with them, and they always gave it to me. And I never really had any issue with them, so I don't have any bad experience.
Yeah.
But I do think they are a little bit too greedy,
nickel and dime.
Yeah,
too
greedy on some things.
I heard that to do like an EU, like a SEPA transfer, they charge you like 200 crowns to do like a wire transfer in the EU. It's crazy.
I use transfer.
I feel like I did one with Nordea, and it was like 50 crowns or something.
Yeah, the thing that surprises me is that Nordea was the one found on all those Panama Papers and shit like that.
Yeah.
And apparently it doesn't matter because Danske Bank. Also, I think one of the reasons why they say it's the least credible is probably because it's also the biggest.
Well,
so of course, you're going to disappoint a lot more people when you also have a lot more clients.
I think some of the shitstorms of yesteryear that they're talking about is that a lot of Danes feel like, or I don't know the story behind this because I wasn't here at the time and I haven't gone and done my history research on all this stuff. But apparently they took a big part, or I guess are blamed for a big part in the financial crisis. Like the way they had split up the risk, and who knows?
Yeah.
It's kind of subprime type shit like you had in the U.S. or whatever.
Okay,
I don't know what they were involved in.
I don't know either.
But I think people blame them for some of the financial crisis stuff.
That was around the time that I moved here, so I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know either.
Here's a quote. We have to remember that Danske Bank has lost the same amount of customers that are there with the entirety of Sydbank.
Exactly, and so when you have so many clients, so many customers, of course, you're going to disappoint more people.
Mm-hmm. It says Nordea also fared rather poorly, coming in 6th last for credibility and 3rd last. 6th last and 3rd last.
It's a terrible way of...
It's a weird...
I don't understand. Yeah.
Well, I get it. 6th to last and 3rd to last, but yeah.
Yeah, so if there's only 6, they're going to be first. 6th last. If there's only 6, they're going to be number 1. As in the
No. 6th last, as I read it, means the 6th to the last place. In other words, not the last place, but 6 positions up from last place.
So now imagine there's only 6 banks.
Okay.
6th last means he's the first one.
Yeah, but in that case, okay. But
it's stupid.
Well, but then what if there's not just 6 banks?
I know. But this doesn't mean much to me.
I know.
Because 6th last could be second.
Tell me they're number 232 out of the total 350 or whatever. Anyways.
You should be writing this shit for them. Do you want a new job?
Well, I don't know how much it pays. I mean, I'll do
you can't be greedy. Come on. You see what happens to greedy banks. You can't be greedy for it.
Come on.
You need to be good for the people. You want to be seen as a Martin Luther King.
Okay. Nordea, Jyske Bank, and Sydbank also ranked in the lower half. Local rural banks like Sparkassen,
Sparkassen 2. I don't know how to read that.
Sparkassen, Vendsyssel, Ringkøbing, Landbobank, Nordjysk Bank. Look at that Danish coming along, Dolph. Yeah. They perform the best, Dolph. Coming in top 4 on both lists. So there you go.
Well, again,
you know what other
again,
thing? I don't even have Danske Bank. And you know one thing that kind of pissed me off? That Danske Bank wasn't going to let their customers use Apple Pay because they want all the money on mobile pay. Nordea and Jyske Bank both support Apple Pay now. And I use it pretty frequently now. It's fucking convenient. It works really well. I mean, to be fair, I never signed up for mobile pay, or I did try to, but since I'm on that list where you basically have to have like additional verification and all that stuff, I had to mail off some papers and I was too lazy to ever do it. So I never got mobile pay, but I like Apple Pay.
You know, I think mobile pay is one of the top 5 apps that I use the most on my phone.
Yeah, I no doubt. I mean, everybody uses it. It's
actually,
super popular.
I think it's like the 13th from last.
Yeah. Oh God. I see what you did there.
I had to. I'm sorry.
I'm trying to see if we got anything else.
Homeless people.
I don't know. There's nothing really jumping out at me though.
No, we can talk about this and then close it.
Well, I was gonna ask you. So, what are your plans for the holidays? You told me we're gonna have some interesting scheduling.
Well, I can't record a podcast Saturday.
So the upcoming Saturday in 5 days or whatever.
Yeah.
We're not gonna have a podcast then.
No. So I was thinking maybe we should have one Tuesday again.
Another Tuesday again. Yeah. Okay, I'm okay with that.
So next Tuesday. And then I'm going to Portugal on the 17th, which is Sunday. So we can record the podcast the day before.
And that'll be like a little bit before Christmas, like the 18th or 19th or something around there.
No, that's the day before the 17th.
Oh, okay.
So it's the 16th.
Thank you.
And then I'm back on the last week of December.
That's the 15th last day of December.
Okay, whatever. I believe.
Anyways, and then we'll probably be back after Christmas. So we got another
three
episodes?
I think we have
three.
We
can make 3
we
more.
Have two next week and one before New Year's.
Perfect, Dolph. I'm excited.
Are you?
Yeah.
Are you excited to have me out of the country for it?
I'm excited to get some. I'm excited for some Christmas songs and a little Christmas spirit, and
you should check out. You should check out some. Dude, there's even reaction videos of people on YouTube reacting to Finnish Christmas songs.
I'll check them out.
It's really a, how do you call it? Like a genre of its own. I was fascinated.
What do you want? What do you want for Christmas, Dolph? Like if you.
Oh, I want world peace.
Like if you're gonna ask Santa for something,
peace.
come on, be realistic.
Okay, if I can really indulge my inner child and ask for a present, is there a budget?
Let's set it high, $10,000.
$10,000.
Yeah, I mean whatever.
No, yeah, then that's fine. It could even just be 5,000. I want I'd like that. Fuck, what's the name now? I forgot. The modular synth.
The Prophet.
The make noise.
Oh, the make noise. No Coast.
No, not the No Coast. That's like
the full setup.
Yeah,
the full setup by Make Noise.
Shared system. It's called
Shared system.
Make Noise
modular synthesizer.
It's a modular synth. The whole system costs what? It's like $4,500 US dollars.
Fair enough, Dolph.
That's what I want Santa to bring. And I know he's not going to bring me.
That's a high dollar.
I'm just going to be happy with spending some time with my family, eating some codfish.
You know what I want for Christmas?
What do you want for
Given
Christmas?
a $10,000 limit.
Yeah.
I want everybody who's listening to the podcast right now to like the shit on Facebook, to leave a review on iTunes or SoundCloud or whatever you're listening to it on. That's all I want. I don't want any money. I don't want any money. I don't want any expensive gifts.
That was a setup for it. I feel so greedy right now because you basically asked me.
Used you.
And you used me. You even gave me a budget. And then, and even, like, I mean,
you fell for it. You fell for it. Hook, line, and sinker.
I say that, I know that I said it in jest.
Yeah.
But I tried to say the whole world peace thing, you know?
Yeah, you
I don't care about money.
Yeah. You should have been clever. You should have said, I want a 5-star review.
And then you forced me to no, but there's a budget. Come on, just something. Like if you're a kid, like, oh, okay, let me indulge in this. I want the big expensive toy. And then you just try to take
steal your thunder.
I feel that.
All right. Anyway.
I feel used.
Well, we got to do it because if we don't say it, everybody will always forget to do it. I never review or thumbs up anything. I mean, sometimes when people say
That's true.
It's annoying. Like, I'm like, holy shit, dude, you ask for this every show. And I think we've been pretty chill about it. But you never think about it. You just listen to content or view content.
Well, if you like it, it really helps us.
Yeah, if you don't like it, don't leave a review.
So if you don't like it, you're probably not listening to it right now.
If you don't like it, don't leave a fucking 1-star review. Don't be a dick.
Yeah.
Send us an email though.
Yeah, sure. If you don't like it, you can complain to us privately. Just don't. Just do whatever the fuck you want. I don't care.
Any last words?
Yeah, and
what do you got? You were going on something. Go ahead.
Yeah, I know.
Last words. Go ahead.
It's a rant. No, I'm gonna be the bigger man.
You're gonna go on a long rant?
No, I'm gonna.
Yeah, that's not last words. I'm talking about final request.
No, there's no. Be happy, be merry. See you Tuesday.
All right. See you guys next Tuesday.